many people just don't have the psychological fortitude to maintain that for the months it takes to fight your case.
The showers were nasty. It would be flies, mosquitoes all over. The facilities are dirty. They don't give you no sheet covers. You sleep on the floors, on the open ground, not no mattress. The officers would tell me, hey, listen, they tell us that you guys don't have no rights.
Now, hold on. Due process still exists. Trump hasn't destroyed the Constitution. Daniel had a really good case for being here. He had a green card. His wife is an American citizen.
I could have fought. I spent so much money on my lawyer, and I could have stayed there and fought for a year.
But this is actually the most pernicious part of the whole story. Even though he could have fought his case in front of a judge and probably won, his lawyer told him that to just work through that process would take months, maybe even longer than a year. But things were so bad in this detention center that he calculated that this was an unbearable amount of time.
The government and ICE know very, very well that it is in fact so punishing and awful for people to endure that they will often be forced into giving up their rights and simply agreeing to be deported.
The living conditions were so bad that I basically asked to get deported myself.
I talked to Daniel right after he had arrived to El Salvador, after being detained and then deported.
I'm still trying to adapt to the heat over here and the way people talk, because everywhere I go, they know that I'm not from here.
And I started to get really curious why he was a target. Green card holder, business owner. And then I put it together. It comes down to the numbers. Even after this huge initial crackdown right after Trump took office, they still weren't hitting their numbers. This is way too hard. This is when Stephen Miller, who's seen as the architect of Trump's immigration crackdown, gives ICE a quota.
We are looking to set a goal of a minimum of 3,000 arrests for ICE every day.
3,000 arrests a day. I don't actually know if that's a lot or little. I wanted to put this into perspective. So let's just sort of compare it to something else. Like New York's police department, they're pretty big. They probably do a lot of arrests a day. Well, it turns out they arrest about 700 people per day, and they have about 36,000 officers. This is officers, this is arrests. ICE has about 6,000 officers focused on their deportation efforts, and they have to arrest 3,000 people per day. Okay, that's a pretty big number.
And what we understand is that the pressure those line agents are feeling to make as many arrests as they possibly can is unimaginable.
So starting this summer, just a couple months ago from when I'm recording this, we started to see the results of that quota, of this pressure.
ICE detained him because they thought he was part of the protest and he was just driving through.
Why are you doing this?
A woman was arrested in front of her children as she was about to take them to school.
The chaotic face-off between federal agents outside the facility.
They broke his car window right there, pepper sprayed him in the car.
Let's go back to this graph that we started the video with. Remember our three colors: convicted criminals, people charged but not convicted, and then no criminal charges. That's this bottom line. Trump takes office here, all of the lines go up. Stephen Miller gives ICE their new quota here, and look which line goes up. To meet these quotas, ICE is leaning further and further into finding anyone they can justify deporting. And just recently, these lines crossed. Okay, but here comes the problem that we maybe could have predicted if we were listening to the first half of this story, which is the US economy needs these people. There are industries that rely on their work. And business owners, corporations, a key part of Trump's fans, start to get really angry that Trump is raiding their workplaces and deporting their workforce. So here he is coming out with a Truth Social post saying that his aggressive policies are taking very good long-time workers away from them, with those jobs being, quote, almost impossible to replace. Like, if you thought I was being exaggerating about how vital these people are to certain industries, Donald Trump himself is corroborating that. Almost impossible to replace. That same day, there's an email that goes out to ICE supervisors telling them to stop it with the worksite enforcement operations. Stop with the worksite raids on agriculture, restaurants, and hotels. And it tells them to stop arresting non-criminal collaterals, jargon for the people you find along the way when you actually have a target. Let's see what happens next to our graph. Well, this line, arrests of immigrants without a criminal record, slows but continues to go up. They still have to meet their quota, and everyone is still a target.
Incluso me despierto a veces toda así con el corazón latiendo y le digo a mi esposo, yo creo que nos vinieron a buscar.
I talked to Maria, not her real name, who is one of these people that are now a target. She's been here for decades, she's raised a family here, she works, but now her life has been made impossibly anxious.
Ahorita sí es un caos completo porque, digamos, al salir, por ejemplo, yo tenía la sensación como estar vigilado, como perseguido.
Because now Maria is going through a massive rebranding by this administration.
You are, by definition, a criminal, and so therefore you are subject to deportation.
For years, this population was seen as necessary and legally allowed to enter and work. And then for decades, the government kind of just turned a blind eye, knowing that we needed them. But now, they are seen as criminals. Yes, there's the talk of the worst of the worst.
The American people don't want these criminals and dangerous individuals on our streets anymore.
But it's not about that. I mean, look at this line. No criminal record. The administration is undergoing a reassociation to rebrand this giant population of people as every one of them a criminal, every one of them fair game to be detained and deported.
Le soy sincera que no he dormido. Digamos, por ratos duermo, por ratos no. A mi hija, la mayor, ella me dice, mami, no te preocupes, me dice, si nos tenemos que ir, pues nos vamos. Pero la verdad, soy honesta que pues sí, allá están mis padres y todo, pero no fue tan fácil estar aquí.
Is this new? Like I was struggling to frame this in history. Like, how unprecedented or different is this? And then I found this quote that says, the theory that immigration is responsible for crime, that all newcomers should be regarded with an attitude of suspicion, is a theory that is almost as old as the colonies. Okay, how do you fact check that? But then I realized that this report was written in 1931. Those words were written in 1931. Like, even back then, 100 years ago, people knew how powerful of a trick this is, how easy it is to brand outsiders as criminals.
We are not going away. We are staying here to liberate this city from socialist, burdensome leadership.
Families showing up for immigration hearings, being detained by ICE agents right after.
2 people pepper sprayed outside the ICE facility.
Federal agents slamming a 79-year-old business owner to the ground.
A mother to the ground. ICE agents shoot and injure a woman.
Homeland Security says its operations are about immigration laws, not instilling fear.
Apparently, I can just tell AI what I want and it builds it for free. Hi, my name is Mia and I've been creating software for over a year.
So, here's where we're at. Congress has just passed this law that will juice ICE's budget. I mean, look at that chart again. We're about to see a much more resourced version of this crackdown. The results will be hundreds of thousands, if not millions of lives turned upside down. It will mean families ripped apart. It will mean communities ruptured. People who, yes, among them are some criminals, but that's not who they're targeting. I mean, that's at least what their own data says. And instead, an administration that is headed by the son of an immigrant is directing our government to kick out a huge number of people who, as we've seen, are a key part of our economy and our country.
Every immigrant, by embracing these ideals, makes our country more, not less, American.
Es bien frustrante, entonces mis padres me han dicho que mejor me regrese. Estoy entre la espada y la pared, porque sí me gustaría, o sea, como le dijera, ya me acostumbré aquí. Pero es que si seguimos así no es vivir una vida.
The only way to really stop migration is to make the United States no longer a desirable destination for migrants. And as Trump pushes this message of Fortress America, a world in which if you cross illegally, we might send you to be imprisoned in El Salvador on false claims of gang membership, people are not viewing the United States as the beacon of freedom that they once did.